Welcome to the Immigrantinlaw channel. Today's episode is not your typical episode. Did you know that there are countries in Europe where you can't hoover up on Sundays, and you can be fined several €100 for throwing away a can on the sidewalk? If you are planning to move to Europe, this issue will not only surprise you, but also help you avoid unnecessary problems. Let's go. Top 10 most unusual and unexpected laws in EU countries. This is probably one of the most famous and at the same time the most unexpected domestic laws in Europe. Germany has a rule called Ruhezeit, translated from German as quiet time, and on Sundays it covers almost the entire day. During this time, it is forbidden to do anything that can create loud noise: vacuuming, drilling walls, mowing the lawn, playing loud music, or turning on the washing machine. Germany takes respect for privacy very seriously. A neighbor has the right to complain if he or she is disturbed while resting, and the police can actually come to a call because of the sound of a vacuum cleaner. Interesting fact, even if you wash your car outside your house and make noise, it can fall under the category of disturbance of public peace. Fines range from €50 and up, depending on the location and situation. So if you're moving to Germany, get used to vacuuming on Saturday. Venice is one of the most visited cities in Europe. Millions of tourists flock to Piazza San Marco every year, and many have a desire to feed the pigeons. It would seem to be a nice tradition, almost a symbol of the city. But since 2008, it is officially forbidden by law. Why? There are several reasons. Pigeons leave a lot of waste that corrodes historical buildings, monuments, and marble facades. Food on the ground attracts rats and other pests. Mass congregation of birds creates unsanitary and visual chaos in tourist areas. The fine for feeding pigeons is up to €700. The police and municipal inspectors do not turn a blind eye to this, especially during the tourist season. The local authorities are trying to preserve the architectural heritage and cleanliness of the city. All a tourist needs is one hand gesture with a bun. And you can get a protocol. If you want to feed someone, you'd better buy an ice cream and eat it yourself. Sweden is a country of forests, clean air, and environmental awareness. Here, people love to relax in nature, have picnics, fry sausages and steaks. But not everything is so simple. In apartment buildings, especially in large cities, there is a ban on barbecues on balconies and terraces. Reasons? Fire safety, concern for neighbors, smoke, odor, embers, observance of building regulations. The ban applies not only to charcoal grills, but also to electric and gas grills. It all depends on the house and its management company. The Swedes are very attentive to collective safety. One careless kebab on the balcony, and all residents are at risk. And during the summer season, nationwide bans on open fires even in the forest can be introduced, including bonfires, portable gas stoves, disposable grill sets. Violation of such a ban can result in fines and, if serious, criminal penalties. Tip: if you live in Sweden, always check local fire danger advisories, especially in summer, and don't barbecue on your balcony unless it is expressly authorized. It's better to go to a specially equipped grilling area. They are in almost every neighborhood. This law sounds like a joke, but it actually existed in French law, and for a long time did not raise any questions. The point is this: in France there was a ban on insulting national symbols and historical figures, including in an ironic way. And it was in this context that the rule appeared, according to which pets, especially pigs, could not be called by the name Napoleon. The origins go back to the 19th century, when the cult of personality of Napoleon Bonaparte was particularly strong. The prohibition later moved to the criminal code as a sign of disrespect for the country's history. Today, the law is not de facto enforced, but it is still mentioned in collections of legal curiosities and causes controversy. Theoretically, if your mini pig is walking around the yard with a Napoleon collar, it could attract the attention of a zealous bureaucrat. Tip: if you want to be original, name your pig Voltaire. It's definitely safer. The Netherlands has a so-called no-face covering law, and it doesn't just apply to religious clothing. It covers balaclavas, ski masks, motorcycle helmets, unless you're on a bike, large scarves that cover your face, and even sunglasses that are too massive in enclosed areas. The law was passed in 2019 and is in effect in schools, hospitals, public transportation, and other public facilities. The measure is explained by security and identification issues. The authorities emphasize no one should be in public institutions with a closed face, so that employees can see with whom they communicate. Violators face a fine of up to €150 and may also be asked to leave the premises. In transportation, up to the point of disembarkation. An interesting point: in winter, in extreme cold, people sometimes instinctively cover their faces with a scarf and may also face a reprimand from the staff. Tip: if you travel to the Netherlands, even in cold weather, make sure you keep your face uncovered in the subway, trains, and hospitals. It's not just a courtesy, it's the law. The sea, the sun, the beach. It seems that Spain is designed for a relaxing vacation in shorts and a t-shirt. But if you decide to walk from the beach straight into town without outerwear, you risk a fine. Cities such as Barcelona, Malaga, and Palma de Mallorca have an official ban on walking on the streets, in swimsuits, topless, without a t-shirt or shirt, in wet beach wear, especially if you are outside the beach area. The rules apply to the historic center, stores, bus stops and restaurants. A violation is considered an unacceptable appearance in a public place. Locals have long been tired of the flood of tourists who see the entire town as an extension of the beach. The law is a way to remind them that public space requires respect. The fines range from 1 to 300 euros depending on the city. And the police don't care if you are a foreigner or a local. They usually don't give warnings. Tip: if you want to eat after the beach, bring a light cape or shirt. Otherwise, your burrito may cost you twice as much. Austria is a country of cleanliness, order, and architectural harmony, and this applies not only to facades, but even to the way you dry your laundry. Many residences, especially in Vienna and Salzburg, have rules that prohibit hang laundry on balconies if it spoils the appearance of the building. Use open balconies as mini dryers. Hang brightly colored or oversized items that are visible from the street. The basis is the norms for the external aesthetic appearance of buildings, as stipulated in the building bylaws or HOA decisions. Hausordnung. Facades and balconies are considered to be part of the overall architectural space. The appearance of colored underwear on them may be perceived as a violation of public taste. Violators may face a warning from the management company, an administrative fine in some areas, in extreme cases, a lawsuit from neighbors or the owner of the building. Interesting. Some houses even limit the type of flowers in pots on the balcony, so as not to violate the visual concept. Tip: before hanging anything on your balcony in Austria, it is better to check the rules with the property manager. Sometimes even a simple drying rack can cause discontent among neighbors. At first glance, it seems like an obvious act of caring, but in Denmark, it is not just a moral issue, it is a legal obligation. If you see a child alone without an adult in a public place, you notice that the child is clearly disoriented, lost, or frightened, or asks for help and you ignore it, you can be held liable. According to Danish law, such inaction may qualify as failure to assist a person in danger. Danish society is built on a high degree of trust and personal responsibility. If a person passes by a lost child and does nothing, it is perceived as indifference, bordering on a crime. In the worst case, you may face a fine or even a criminal case if the consequences for the child are serious. An interesting nuance: in Denmark, it is also encouraged to report found items, animals, and even unlocked doors in other people's homes to the police, all for the sake of safety and order. Tip: if you live or travel in Denmark and you encounter a situation where a child is clearly unattended, don't pass it by. Contact the police or the nearest adult. Finland is one of the few countries in the world where fairness in the law is taken literally. Here, the amount of the fine may depend directly on your official income. This is called the day fine system. The higher your earnings, the higher the amount of the fine for the same offense will be. The system applies to most administrative offenses, including speeding, traffic violations, disorderly conduct, and even petty hooliganism. Finns think it is unfair for a millionaire to pay the same 100 euros as a student. After all, for one it is nothing, and for another, a tangible punishment. That's why here they pay not all according to the bill, but all according to income. The most famous case, in 2015, businessman Reima Kuslainen exceeded the speed limit by 20 kilometers per hour and paid a fine of 54,000 euros. The basis is his declared annual income of several million. The system works strictly. The police request income data from the tax office and calculate the fine according to a formula. It is impossible to conceal information. Tip: if you plan to drive a car in Finland, be especially careful. Even a minor speeding ticket can cost you an amount comparable to a vacation in the Alps. Estonia is a country of technology, tranquility, and coziness. It would seem that what could be more harmless than a game of chess in the shade of trees. However, in Tallinn and some other cities there is a rule. Playing board and mind games is allowed only in specially designated places. What this means in practice, you cannot simply place a folding board on a bench and place the pieces. In parks and squares there are often special tables with chess markings. This is where the game is allowed. In other places, it can be considered as illegal use of public space or even illegal street activity. The ban came about after groups of gamblers began to gather spontaneously in some neighborhoods, and it began to resemble a gambling party with elements of betting and arguing. This disturbed passers-by and caused complaints. In some cases, a permit from the municipality may even be required, especially if the public gathers around or their own tables and chairs are used. Tip: if you like outdoor chess or dominoes, look for specially equipped areas. They are available in almost every major park in Tallinn and other Estonian cities. This way you will avoid unnecessary conversations with the police and perhaps find a worthy opponent. The law is the law, and if you're moving to Europe, it's important to realize that even the most familiar things in one country may be forbidden in another. Vacuuming on Sundays, barbecuing on the balcony, walking around in a swimsuit, all these things can cost you serious fines. Therefore, it is important not only to obtain a residence permit or citizenship, but also to know the everyday norms of behavior in a new country. If you are seriously considering moving to Europe, contact Immigrantinlaw. We will not only find the best immigration route for you, but also help you adapt to it. We will tell you about local laws, warn you about important nuances, be there for you every step of the way. Living in Europe is not just about documents. It is understanding the culture, rules, and respect for new traditions, and we will help to make this path safe and understandable. Leave a request for a free consultation with Immigrant-in-Law lawyers. We will find the best relocation strategy for you, prepare all the necessary documents, explain in detail the nuances of the law, and answer all your questions. Want to learn more or start the process today? Contact us. All contacts are listed in the description below this video. We are here to help you take a confident step towards a new life. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and ask your questions in the comments. I will be happy to answer them. Discover the world of opportunities with Immigrant-in-Law.